Okay, good afternoon. Thank you for joining Robert Vilahamn's press conference. We are previewing our game against Brighton on Sunday. We're going straight to the online feed today, so please use the raise hand function if you'd like to ask questions. We'll kick off with Alex Mitten.
Afternoon, Robert. A quick one from me firstly. Could we just kickstart with team news ahead of Sunday, please?
Yeah, so Charlie will be out because of a concussion and Bethany will be out because of a quad issue.
Also, I just want to touch on one injured player, Kikuran, of course, been out injured all season, but in a couple of days after the Man City match, he was videoed running on the pitch. Could you just talk about how her progress is going, and also just kind of on her mental resilience? And this is her second ACL injury. How's she dealing with it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's really nice to have her back on grass, and obviously not with the rest of the team, but with the medical team. They've done amazing work to get her to that spot, both mentally and physically. Obviously, she had a big injury before I came, and just came back that season before. I had some really good first year with her, and she was finding a new position under how we were playing, and I think she started this preseason very well, and that injury was tough for us and for her. But I can tell that she's very mentally strong to get back and be a part of this team. And obviously she's now on grass, which makes it easier to motivate and push her. But still, it's a few more months to go. But she's having a good progress.
And just finally, kind of touched on Brighton, fifth in the table, 2 points ahead of you. But they haven't actually won in the WSL since the middle of November, I believe. What have you made of kind of their style of play? And kind of what are you expecting on Sunday?
I think they have pushed the boundaries this year by actually playing some really good football. You can obviously see that the coach are having an identity how they want to play, and they play some really good football. They were really winning a lot of games in the beginning, and then they had a few more difficult games before and after Christmas. But you can tell how strong they are. I saw their game against Chelsea the other week as well. So they are a really good team with a lot of good players. If we win this game, we can pass them in the table. If we lose it, we're going to need to chase them even more. So it's an important game in where we are in the table. And it's also an important game because they are kind of in the same midland where we are, and we want to make sure we are the best in those areas. So it's going to be a tough game, but we definitely have a chance to win.
Thank you. Best of luck on Sunday.
Cheers.
Thank you. We've got one more media colleague in the waiting room there, and we'll go to Alex Brotherton.
Hi Robert, hope you're good. Could I just ask for some clarification on why Olga Arteman's move to Hammarby didn't come about?
Obviously, we always have interest in our players. Sometimes it's just questions, sometimes it's more strongly in offers, and then sometimes it's a connection of both. I like Olga as a player. I think she brings something to us all the time. If there were a chance that a club want to buy her and she want to leave, then we're obviously going to listen to that. But when you have all the answers and a decision should be made, then the decision will be made. And she wanted to stay. I didn't want to push her away, and I'm happy to have her here. So that's why she's staying.
So just to confirm, because we understand she flew to Sweden, but she decided she wanted to stay at Tottenham.
I'm not sure. The flying plans and everything, but there was an interest from Hammarby, but she wanted to stay. I didn't want to push her away, so that's why she's staying.
Okay. Just on to your recent form, obviously 3 straight defeats in the WSL. Is there anything you've learned about your team in this recent run?
Yeah, I mean, I'm learning every year here that the top teams are very hard to beat, and that sometimes you need to adapt. So Arsenal away was not a good performance, and we were smashed that game, and we adapted a little bit for the Man City game, and we had a really good game actually. We were pressing high, we were defending well, we were creating chances. We could actually have won that game and at least getting a point from that game. So even if it's a 3-game loss, I think we have the last game as a statement that we are having a good chance if we have a good day to beat the top teams. Now we go to Brighton, which is one of the best teams this season as well, and we need to make sure we can do a combination of the press, but also in possession to create goal chances and try to win this game because it's an important game for us.
And obviously it's been a couple of weeks since your last game. Has there been anything specifically that you've focused on in training in the last couple of weeks that you've had time to work on?
I mean, it's a mixture, but I think we really want to make sure we have a good pressing game. We want to make sure we are good in the defense to make sure we can win the ball higher up the pitch. So that's one thing. And then in possession is the decision making. I mean, it's still an identity we want to have, but we want to create more goal chances, and then we need to make sure how we do that and how we hurt them in the right moments. So it's a lot about decision making and hurting the opponent in the right spaces, to be honest.
Okay, thanks a lot, Robert, and all the best for the game.
Cheers.
Thanks, Jamie.
Hey Robert, nice to see you. Just bringing it back to Brighton for a minute, Robert. The way they're playing under Dyer is very attacking. It's quite similar to how you came out of the gates when you arrived at Tottenham. I was just wondering right now, obviously Tottenham, you guys have proved to be a little bit leaky at the back, and they've got players like Nikita Paris who's in firing form. So how do you guys kind of work to set up defensively to work through those attacking threats that Brighton may possess?
I mean, they have some really quality players up there, and if you saw us against Man City, we were, instead of falling back and protect the box and be low, we were trying to press higher so that the attackers basically don't get the ball so often. And we had a big success most of the game against Man City. So we want to make sure we are even better in that way. And then when you need to defend the box or the 1-against-1, we need to be very sharp. We have the players who can handle that. And then obviously we also need to make sure we have a good day at work. But I think the main thing is to not only defend, to actually have the ball and try to attack as much as we can as well.
She obviously joined during January, and it said a lot about her personality and her character, obviously, on her debut to score that free kick. And then I thought she made a real strong and impressive impact off the bench against Man City. Just how have you found she settled into the club, and what have you made of her so far?
Yeah, I think we have signed a really, really good player in person. I think she brings both smiles to the faces. She's a very funny person as well, and she's getting back to the shape she was in Sweden. So I think she had a bad injury before the Christmas break there, and we already had decided to try to sign her before that injury, of course, and then we just needed to understand that it's going to take a while before she's back. And I think last game when she got 60-65 minutes against Man City, you can tell that she's back, and I think she showed that she has some X factor that we don't have in this team. She's very good to get the ball out from tight areas. She's very good to do that last pass. She's very good to do points, and that's the X factor that you really need. So she's taking steps all the time. We played a friendly game last weekend where she actually played the first 90 minutes for a long time. So and she's still adapting to this league. It's a much tougher league than the Swedish league. So this 6 months is great for her and for us, because I think next season she will be one of the best players in this league.
And Robert, can I just confirm Martha Thomas is fit to play this weekend? Obviously she came off early against Man City.
Yeah, I mean, she twisted her ankle, but she had a few days off, and then she have trained well the whole week, so there's no problem for her.
Brilliant. Thanks, Robert.
Cheers.
Dan Pentland.
Hi, Robert. Hope you're well. I just wanted to ask, obviously, you're just below Brighton in the table. I think you've got the opportunity to leapfrog them this weekend. So, how important is that? And, it feels like you've got a lot of games now coming up, winnable games where you can start building that momentum. Is the target that, from the end of the season, you're aiming to, almost finish top of that mini league, if you like, in fifth place?
Yeah, I mean, if you look result-wise, I think we have a good chance to compete for the fifth place in the league. And if you actually look at it, that's the best position Tottenham women's team have ever had. So you can speak about this being an average season or whatever, but we have a chance to actually do the best position for this club. So we are always aiming for that, of course. But the main thing, you don't really get anything for being top 5. You don't get the Champions League. You don't get any big money for that. So in one way, I also want to make sure we perform and make sure we take steps in how we want to play. The players we have here who's going to keep developing, because obviously next season is when we want to make sure we take even bigger steps. So we want to reach top 5, but it's also very much focusing on the performance and the players to take the next step so we can be very good next year.
And just in terms of Brighton, I know that game away from home was so tight, there was very little in it, you were so close to winning the game as well. So when you reflect on that, what things do you think you did well, and what things do you think you could improve this time around?
I think the first half was not the best performance from us that game. We were not really nailing the press, how we're going to press them. So I think we have worked quite much on being a little bit better on how we press. Second half over there was quite good. We scored a good goal. We could have scored 2-0 in a quite good chance as well. And then they score in a way where we actually have some problems with the crosses and box defending. So we need to make sure we we find ways to get better there. But we also know that if we have a good day, we have a good chance to win the game. So it feels like we're coming into this game with a good self-confidence, even if we lost Man City, because we had a good feeling after that game that we took step.
Brilliant. Thanks, Robert. Best of luck. Thank you.
Cheers.
Chris?
Robert, hope you're well. Now, the club have just received 7 nominations at the Women's Football Awards. Beth England and Naz up for Player of the Season, Gunnar Williams for the Young Player, Best Club of the Year, and many congratulations, you're nominated for Coach of the Year. You must be very pleased with these nominations. I just wondered how much would you see as progress in the near 2 years that you've been at the club?
I mean, when you get these kind of nominees, it's always nice for. I mean, obviously it's nice for you as a person, but it's actually connected to how we work together and how the club's aiming with the women's team. That shows that Tottenham women's team and Tottenham as a club try to push the level up. And I think Lena, yes, this are the young players we have invested a lot of time and training with, and I think that shows that we do something right here. But then it's also, we're only like in the beginning of something. I think my first year was, you perhaps were expecting something, and then we were in the FA Cup final and everybody was kind of surprised that we were so good. I think this year we are not pushing higher, so then you might think that we have a setback. I think it's quite consistent that we are a mid-table team that pushed higher for those 2 years, and I think we had to rebuild from last year to this year because of a change of personnel and players. But I still think we have a really good aim where we're going. I think now we have a balance in the squad where I think when we go into the next season, we're going to have a few players that we signed this year that's going to be ready for the next step. So if you look at Ella Morris, I think she's one of the players we have signed for the future, but she's already now performing, and I think I wouldn't be surprised if she's in the Euros this year actually, because she's so good right now. So for me, we do in progress, even if sometimes you see that we lose against the top teams again. But I think we do in progress, and behind the scenes we're doing a lot of progress. How we building the staff room and how we're building the squad and the youth talents we have. We have young players in the young lionesses as well. So I see the progress and I see the future is bright. But it's perhaps we don't show you guys that all the time. But we're doing good stuff here.
Well, of course, last time out in the WSL, you played Manchester City. Gareth Taylor lost his job this week. Were you surprised? And does it prove yet again that no one is safe in a job?
I mean, it's obviously the last couple of weeks has been crazy with 3 managers losing their jobs, and I think half of the coaches this year have lost their jobs. So it's a reality we live in now in the women's football as well. I think every case is unique. I think I don't know how the board think about different coaches. I think he has been up there competing every year. They haven't won the league for those years, of course, but he had a few titles, I think. So I have no idea to why they take the decisions, but I'm just being aware that you are having a job that is quite high pressure on, and you just need to deal with that. And if you can deal with that, you just need to accept when that day comes, because it will come one day or another. So you just need to live with that.
Well, but lastly from me, Becky Spencer, loan to Chelsea. Can you talk us through this one? Because a number of Spurs fans questioned it, why the club would be helping a rival in Chelsea.
I mean, you put a lot of things into the box when you're going to take a decision on that. One thing is about her and where she is and not playing right now here. But if you are a little bit more overthinking it, if you're helping Chelsea to win against the teams around us, we're actually helping ourselves. So in one way, we will not beat Chelsea this year in the league by actually getting higher than them in the table. So if they are strong and beating the other teams around us, we get a better chance to actually finish higher in the table. So we're basically helping ourselves, and we're helping Becky to have some silverware perhaps. So I think it's a win-win, to be honest. And also, like, if I would say, no, you cannot go there, and I just want you as a second goalkeeper or third goalkeeper, what kind of coach am I when I actually have 2 really good young goalkeepers coming up as well? So I think it was an easy choice because of these circumstances. Then I have enormous respect that the fans don't want us to support the top teams. But right now, they are a top team, and we are in a mid-table team that need to push higher. So I think it's a different story than on the men's side, for example.
Thanks a lot.